Joyce, how are you today?
Lovely, how are you?
Doing real well, thank you. I thought while our soup cools, we could review the first episode of Picard because it's free and we finally got to watch it.
Yes, sounds good.
What'd you think of it?
I'm actually interested to see where it goes.
So you're not completely disgusted by it.
I'm not, but there were some issues with it.
Now let's talk about us. Are you a huge Star Trek fan?
No, but I do enjoy watching it.
I too. I enjoy the show. I've seen a number of episodes of various series, couple movies here and there. Not the hugest Star Wars fan, but I like it.
Same, I watched Star Wars with my dad as a kid, the original.
Oh my god. Captain Kirk or Captain Picard?
You know, I think I like Captain Picard better even though I grew up on Kirk.
Picard, he was definitely a little bit more deeper and more complicated, but that's maybe for another day. Let's talk about Picard the series. I made some notes as I watched.
Oh, you got the opportunity to write notes, but I didn't.
I'm gonna let you read my
Your
notes.
Mm-hmm. I get to read your notes.
So the playing field is leveled. Let's talk about the opening poker scene. Now, I haven't seen all the episodes, but have you seen a few episodes where on The Next Generation in particular where the crew would hang out and play poker?
Yes.
Of those poker scenes you saw, how many of them featured Captain Picard at the table?
0.
I was like, what the fuck? I haven't seen every episode, but I immediately thought, why is Picard's best friend Data, and why is he playing poker?
Right. And then you also called it saying it was probably a dream because it couldn't be real.
I was just so blown away. I was like, this can't be real because Captain Picard does not play poker. He's more of a chess guy, I think, if anything. And I don't even know if he even played chess on the show. Did he play anything?
He mentored Data in his art and music, but I don't recall him playing any games.
Yeah, he just kind of read books on his free time, I think, and just wanted to be alone and hated everybody.
I don't think he hated everybody. He was being a professional.
Could have been. Let's see. There was that other scene. The girl, her name was Tosh, Daniel
Dashi,
Tosh.
something like that.
Dash.
Something
How'd you like that scene where her boyfriend gets murdered? Because I thought it was interesting. The action wasn't overblown, but it raised questions, but not like I wasn't like enraging questions. It was more like what is this and what's going to happen next.
Right, I thought it was attention getting. I wanted to know what was going to happen. Who is this person?
Right. So we'll give that scene a thumbs up. It was all right. Oh, shit. And then we cut to Captain Picard. He lives on a vineyard. What do we think about that?
I thought it was fine. I know that you thought because he went to his brother's vineyard. We actually just recently watched the episode where he went to his brother's vineyard, but you thought it was like their vineyard or the family vineyard. And he
wouldn't it be?
I think it was his brothers and his brother's
How many
wife.
vineyards are in the fucking Picard family?
I mean, they could own their own vineyards. Like, I feel like he didn't get that vineyard until he came back to Earth after all of his Federation tours.
If they established one thing in that episode where he goes back home, did he not establish that he had no interest in that fucking vineyard?
I guess. I don't really know that they established it. He just hated his brother. Didn't get along.
Definitely mixed feelings about grapes and his brother. So it just seems like an odd place for him to retire to. I mean, obviously it was in the family, I guess, but his brother had a kid. His brother had a family. Like, wouldn't it just be like, I live on my nephew's grape vineyard and make wine?
I mean,
Did he even drink wine that much?
You're taking it totally different than I did. Like, to me, this was his retirement. This is what he did when he retired with his money. You're looking at it like it was the family vineyard.
Dude, maybe the fucking Romulans tricked him into thinking that he wanted to live
Also,
on a
I was
vineyard.
confused about, like, because it seemed like he was on Earth, but it also seemed like he was with the Romulans. So I was a little bit confused on where actually this vineyard was.
Of what race was his help? You know, he had
Romulan.
the help.
They were Romulan.
They weren't Vulcan. They were Romulan.
No, they were Romulan.
Straight up.
He was helping the Romulans. That's
Oh,
why
he was like
broke.
doing some kind of Oscar Schindler shit. He was letting them work at his house so they wouldn't get, have to stay on their planet, which was going to explode or whatever.
I'm assuming he befriended them when he helped the Romulans. That was what the whole storyline was.
Okay, I didn't want to get to the speculation portion of the review just yet, but those fucking people did act pretty suspicious. I was like, these people
The
are
Romulans.
his help. His the help.
They acted suspicious. That was confusing for me. That was one of the things I didn't like, is when she dies and he magically wakes up at his house. That made absolutely no sense.
Fucked.
He would have been in the hospital. Like, who brought him there? Why would he wake up there? He was unconscious the whole time.
Right, and they were just like, gosh, you fell. Like, they were in on something. That was
very confusing, and it just made no sense. That's not what would happen.
Alright, and one thing that I didn't think it would be this big a deal, but, like, it really just made me feel like the show wasn't well written, was the scene where Daniel Tosh Point .0.
It's not Tosh, because that's the original.
It's Daniel Tosh.
No.
Anyway, she talks to her mom after she leaves Picard's house. She sneaks out, talks to her mom in the rain, and she's like, oh my god, I just killed somebody, blah, 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 blah. And her mom's like, there was two things that were fucked up about that scene, and the first part I didn't really catch immediately. Was, first of all, I immediately thought, like, why didn't... This scene obviously was supposed to come immediately after she killed those assassin guys, and not after she left Picard's house at the vineyard. And it made me think, like, it was sloppy writing, that they were just like, well, we need her to not be there when Captain Picard goes to the records place, but we do need her to come at some point, so I guess she's just going to sneak out only to have a conversation with her mom, which tells her to immediately go back to Jean-Luc Picard.
Right. I probably wouldn't have really been bothered by it had
okay,
you not mentioned
but
it.
Did you even mention this? In the conversation, her mom is like, you have to focus and use your fucking mind powers to track down Picard. And up to this point, I understand that this girl thought she was a completely normal person in life.
Correct.
And her mom not only knows about her secret powers, but knows how to tell her how to use that. Do you think that at any point in the future of this series, they're going to get back to how the fuck her mom knew about all this shit, or are they just going to pretend that didn't happen?
I think they have to get back to it, because she kept asking her how she knew that she had contacted Picard, and that was never answered. So there has to be more to that story, like how she got the kids, if she their real mom, DNA-wise, etc. I think it'll be revisited.
I just don't know for sure that they will get back to it.
I think that's because during the other series you have a problem when they let things go and never revisit them again.
Well, right. I mean, it does happen, but...
I think that's more of the way things were written back in the day. Things, usually have better writers nowadays, but that's yet to be seen.
Right. And I had wanted to touch upon, I have a note here that says, Data is his dear friend or best friend. On TNG, he was not really a close friend of Jean-Luc Picard. What are we doing about that?
I just feel like it's how old he is, and he worked with these people for years until they either died or retired. So he looks at them like his family, his children. He never had children. So I'm okay with him looking at these people like they were his best friends. And
maybe like,
almost like
maybe
family.
Beverly Crusher died or some shit, and then...
Right, they haven't mentioned her.
Right, so maybe just by default, Data was the only one around. I don't know. Hey, how'd you like the action scenes?
He was dreaming about Data. The whole point of him dreaming about Data was because of the connection of the girl. Really?
That might be Yeah, it might have just okay.
I will say, like, I was taken aback at how old that Data looked immediately. The very first scene, I was like, he looks really old.
Well,
Like,
like the Terminator, he ages over time.
I don't feel like he's supposed to age over time, but I think they're gonna say that.
I think he's an android. Is he like kind of like the Terminator? Is he a cybernetic organism?
I don't feel like he's supposed to age skin-wise.
Well, he apparently does. So
Right.
we're just gonna have to live with that. How'd you like the action scenes?
I thought they were pretty good, pretty well played out. I'm not sure I liked the lead up to them. I liked the first one, that was fine, but when she got killed on the roof,
Yeah, that
and
roof
her
scene
like
was
running so
crazy.
fast it looked like she was flying, that was a bit much.
Yeah,
for
when
me.
she flew in the air, I was kind of like, we don't need to fly in the air.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of like the
But she
Crouching
was
Tiger,
superhuman.
Hidden Dragon type thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm not,
Maybe we did draw from that a little bit.
yeah.
Maybe the lore, maybe those two things will eventually have a crossover episode. Crouching Data, Hidden.
I don't think
Riker.
so. I just think they were trying to make it look like she ran so fast, it looked like she was flying. Not that she was actually flying.
True. And final question from me. How'd you like the big twist at the end where it was Romulans, but oh shit, they're
Cyborgs.
they're living in a Borg cube.
Yeah, it added more to my confusion, but thus wanting me to watch more episodes to see why that is and what's really going on.
Right. It's more like it's not like oh my god, what's gonna happen? It's more like how the fuck how did they come up with this idea? For me, it's more just like how are they gonna explain that?
Right, but we don't know even where the Progress is. They were enemies back in the day, but are they part of the Federation now?
Well,
Do they have a truce? Like, we don't really know. I didn't because we recently watched that Cyborg episode as well from the series,
Yeah.
and Data was linked to them, so they have his information and could have used. They could have made these androids that are sentient from his DNA.
Those are all excellent points.
Yeah, so that's where
Plus, I was
think
just
it's
going to say that, you and I are no experts, and I am no expert I'm not even expert on the Next Generation, let alone Deep Space Nine, fucking
Right.
Voyager, Discovery. I haven't watched one episode.
We're Orville experts.
Or those fucking movies, yeah. I consider myself an Orville expert.
Yeah, I like the characters.
Hey, compared to the Orville, if you had to take Picard or the Orville so far, which one?
I mean, probably the Orville, but we're only one
I'm looking
episode
forward
in.
to season 3 if we can ever get to it.
Right, and Cobra Kai as well.
We need a little Cobra Kai in our lives as well. Well, that's all.
That's all.
If you liked our video, cool.